Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial focused on the skin and the base, so how I get sort of a flawless dewy kind of glow. It's taken a little while to come up with all these products together to make it work for me. It might not be the same for everybody. You can use a little bit more, a little less than I do, but I find that the products that I use help to cover up, especially if you've got problem skin, cover up any problem areas. My skin's pretty good at the moment, but it has been really bad. So a couple of weeks ago, I needed to find something that was a little bit more high coverage, which I like anyway. And after a lot of research and a lot of testing things out, this is what I've come up with. So if you want to get a nice full coverage, but also dewy complexion, then keep watching. Thanks. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I like to go in with is moisturiser. So I like to use a little bit of coconut water. I picked this one up from Salon Services locally, and I mix that in with a little bit of my moisturiser. I'm using the Nivea Soft, and I like to use that maybe about 20 minutes before I do my makeup. If you can't, you can't, but it just gives it a chance just to sink into the skin before you lay all the products down. Next, I'm then going to move on to priming my skin, so I've prepped it, now onto the priming, and I like to use the same as normal, the Nivea Post Balm, just to help the makeup stick. I've also been using a little bit of the Barry M highlighter drops mixed into that as well, just so it gives it a nice bronzy, dewy kind of glow, because you're going to be putting a lot of matte foundation on, so it just helps to give it more of a dewy glow rather than that real matte look. So I pop a few little drops just over the face in random places. You can use the little thing, but I don't, because it just goes everywhere. Literally everywhere. And then I take a little bit of the Post Shave Balm as well, rub that in my hands, and then just mix that in with the highlighter drops, and you will look really weird and shiny. But don't worry, it will go. I feel like I'm one of those statues that you see in city centres that are all like metallic, dark and paint. It's a weird look, but it works. So I rub that all over, and I like to allow a couple of minutes just for that, just to sink into the skin and get tacky before we apply anything else. I then also like to apply a little bit of the Benefit Professional just to my nose and around these areas of my cheeks here, just the top of my cheeks, because I do have quite obvious pores. If you don't have that, then you don't need to do this step, but I do. And I also find if you're going to be putting the highlighter drops on, any highlighting pory areas tends to show up a lot more. So even if you don't normally, if you're now using highlighter drops, you might find you notice them a bit more. So just to rub that in there. So next up, we're going into foundation, which is probably for me the crucial bit. I'm using two different types of foundation, which isn't unusual for me. I ordered Dermal. I've heard a lot about it. It's this little tube here. I've heard that it's very good for covering everything, and I had a wedding to go to, and I had some really bad sort of scarring spots around here, which wouldn't shift for about 3 weeks and wouldn't be covered with anything. Even my Urban Decay, which covers a lot, wouldn't cover these. So I looked into Dermal and purchased it, and it did cover them. However, for me, I just found that alone, I love full coverage, but it was a little bit too drying on the skin and just way too of a heavy consistency, and over time I just felt that was going to break up during the day, around my nose, around my chin, and I had heard of a lot of people after about 3 or 4 hours it did start to break up, which kind of isn't the point if you want to cover everything. So I decided I would try this and try mixing it with a couple of different foundations, and the one I find that seems to work is the Loreal True Match. It's a lighter consistency. I don't find this as full coverage, so this does the covering up, and this helps with the consistency just to make sure that it stays in place all day, and it's easier to blend as well, because blending is a big thing and this just doesn't blend quite as well, but together, amazing. So I mix them up together. I have had these palettes for ages. I just bought them local art shop, £1 each. They're amazing when you're on the road doing makeup because everybody has a different foundation shade. You're going to need to mix them, and this way you can keep all your bride and bridesmaids foundations in here and mix and match as you need to. So I mix them up in there first, and I just grab a brush once they're mixed up. I probably just put a tiniest of little dabs, pea size of the Dermal, and then the rest is the True Match. So I just pop a little bit just on any sort of flat brush, and I just pop that all over, just to get it in place. And then next up I go in with my beauty blender and just press that into the skin. And there we have it. So it's pretty full coverage. It gives a real good flawless effect, and now obviously that metallic tone that was on our face before has completely gone, but it's just left it looking a little bit dewier than it would have done had it just been a Dermal and the True Match on its own. So next I'm going to go in with a concealer. Now usually I would go with my Tarte Shape Tape, but lots of people have been talking about this recently. I'm going in with the Revolution concealer, which so far to me is a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. The only difference, it's a slight difference in amount of product you get. You don't get anywhere near as much, but it's £4 and you can pick it up from Superdrug. So for people in the UK, it's brilliant. Tarte Shape Tape I have to get from QVC. The only downside is at the moment, because it's so popular, there aren't many shade ranges. So at the moment I've got C4, which is working, but if I was to get a tan, which I have no tan at the moment, I would struggle with this one, I think. They do also go up to, I don't know if C14 is the last one, I'm not sure, but I've got a C14 here which you can use for your contouring, which is really, really good. So far, loved it. Doesn't crease too much. Over time it will, they all do. But on me, exactly the same as Tarte Shape Tape, just cheaper and easier to get my hands on. So this is my new goodie. So we're going in with this in the normal areas, down the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and up between the eyebrows there, and then just under the eyes as well. And I'm going in with a different beauty blender, so a cleaner beauty blender, and I'm just going to blend that all out. So now that's all blended out, I'm going to go in and set my under eyes and the places that I've concealed, and I'm going in with yet another newie and another drugstore. So this is the Maybeline Fit Me powder. I've got this one in 105, which is one of the fairest ones. They do a translucent as well and a range of colours. These are just the two I picked up. Really good. Better than RCMA. Better than the Cover FX for setting my under eyes. I'm gonna say it. About $6.99 I think it is. Well worth it. Well worth it, especially just for your under eyes, if anything. And I'm just going to use that, or with a brush, I'm just going to take that under the under eyes just to set that. This is a Real Techniques brush. I don't know the name of it. It's a Real Techniques brush. So yeah, just under the eyes there, just to set that concealer in place. And I find I don't really need much. because it doesn't crease. And then I just like to also go in and just do the same with my nose. Keep it low. Chin. And between the eyebrows as well. Next up, I'm using another new product. I have just mentioned it, it's the Cover FX powder. And I go in first of all with a perfect setting powder just to set the rest of my face, and they just look like this. About £28. I get mine from Beauty Bay. Loose powder, so I just pop that on a big fluffy brush, and I like to press that into my face rather than swirling it around so that we don't move any of the products that we've already put on. So we're going to pop that just on the areas we haven't set, just to keep that all in place before we do the next step. Lots of new products, but I haven't filmed in ages, so that's probably why. I'm due to move, so I've been putting off filming because I'm packing everything, so it's been a nightmare. So I thought I'd get a couple of videos in before I move. Another one, Valentine's, I'm going to film in the next couple of days before I move and get that up in time because we're moving on the 12th. So I'm going to get that filmed in the next couple of days. I've also got tonsillitis, so just one today and then a day rest and then another one. So I'll be getting that Valentine's look up as well by the end of the week. So now we've set the rest of the face, I'm now going to go in with another powder, still a Cover FX, but I'm going to go in and give my face a little bit of a dewier glow. I picked this technique up from Jacqueline Hill. I have liked to always press my powder into my face, but it's always good. This is the illuminating setting powder by Cover FX, so that was just the setting powder, and then this is the illuminating one, and this just helps give that dewy, I know we've done the highlighting drops, but this helps give the powder a less matte look and just brings a little bit of life back into the skin again. I sometimes find when you use a powder, it does just take away all that dewiness and matte it all up again, but I do find I need to set my face, so this really helps to bring it all back in again. So I like to spray that with some setting spray first, and I'm going to use this one here, Badescu, I can't even say it, Badescu, this one, Beauty Bay, £7 I think it is, the big bottle. Amazing stuff. So I'm going to spray my beauty blender with that first, and then I'm just going to pop that into the powder and just tap the excess onto my hand like so, and then I'm just going to press that all over the skin. And you want to tap that into your hand first so you don't get that instant sort of white powdery, too much product on the skin that you then have to try and wipe away. If you get rid of the excess first, then you'll just be left with a limited amount of powder. So we're just pressing that in. I tend to not go for the under eyes. I go about the under eyes just because I like that to be quite matte under there because of my wrinkles. And we just keep pressing that in until we feel that we've pressed that all into the skin. Excuse the sniffles. So I don't know if it's picking up on camera. There's a slight highlight to my skin already. You might not be able to see it. It's very subtle, but it does just give it a nice dewy finish. So next up we need to bring some life back into the skin. I'm going to do a little bit of contouring with the Hoola Benefit bronzer, and I'm just going to take that on my Spectrum CO3 brush, and I'm just going to use that to cut the cheekbones ever so slightly and just round my forehead as well. It's a very light hand, starting at the top of your ear and just following that downwards. I'm not going any further than the corner of your eye. And then I just like to lightly keep that going in the hairline all the way around to the top, and I'll do the same on the other side. So top of the ear, no further down than the eye, the edge of the eye here, and then from there taking it into the hairline all the way up to the top of the head. And then I also just like to take a little touch and put it under my chin. And just on my jawline as well. And then under my nose. Next up we're bronzing, and I'm using the Cover FX illuminating setting powder again, but I'm using this in the colour medium. I am very pale at the moment, so sometimes this can be my setting powder, and other times it can be my bronzing powder. But it does give a really nice highlighting effect at the same time, as well as bronzing my skin. Really good for the summer. I haven't used it in the summer yet, but I'm excited for that. So we're just going to go just above and just over where the contouring is, just really lightly. Anywhere that the sun would hit your face, so take that back around again, just to blend that really nicely, and the same on the other side. So you can take that a bit lower down, almost onto your cheeks, blending in with the contour, and all the way up. And then I just like to dust it over where I've contoured underneath as well, and the nose, and I just take that all over the nose, like that. And that's bronzing done. To carry on with the theme of the dewy, highlighted, glowy skin that I wanted to do, I'm going to go in with the Milani Baked Blush. I'm going in with the colour Luminoso. It's almost like a corally pinky colour, like so. So we're just going to take that on a Spectrum CO4 brush, it's a slightly angled brush. Take a touch of that and tap away the excess, and pop that just ever so slightly on the cheeks, a little smile. Just blend that into the bronze a little bit, and the same on the other side. I'm going to use that just underneath, just to sharpen all that work up. And I just use my Maybeline Fit in translucent and just dip that in. A little bit of setting spray if you want to as well. It's almost like baking. It just erases anything where you've been a bit sloppy. And again, I do the same on my nose, and that just helps it to lighten a little bit. So I'm going to keep those in place for a few minutes. I'm going to do my eyes and my eyebrows off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll take this off, and I'll show you how I blend it all in together at the end and add my highlighter. See you in a minute. Okay, eyes now complete. So I'm just going to take my Spectrum BO2 and blend in the translucent powder that we put down the sides and on the nose. I'm just going to take that just to blend the powder first, and I'm just going to take it up a little bit and just over what we've done, the contour and the bronze and the blush, just to make sure that it gives it a really nice, flawless airbrush kind of finish. Do that on both sides. Blend that all in nicely. Ready for a highlight, and then down the nose as well. Just blend that in, like so. Next I'm going to go in with my Revolution highlight palette. I'm just going to take the first shade here on the left. It's kind of a golden bronze, it kind of comes out bronzy, a golden kind of tone. I'm just going to use that on my fan brush, just a Real Techniques fan brush. I'm just going to take that to the highest point, and edge my cheekbones, just lightly on one side, and we'll do the same on the other side. This looks definitely more bronzy than it does in the palette. It looks more gold in this, and here it comes out bronzy, which is nice when you want that kind of bronzy dewy glow. And then take that onto my cupid's bow as well, onto the tip of my nose, down the bridge there a little bit, and I just like to take a touch just above the eyebrows, and that's highlight done. Just going to pop a touch of gloss on, and I'm going to go in with the Nyx Butter Gloss, and we're just going to go in with the colour 13, just number 13. Just going to pop a touch of that on. Lips there. And it's only because we're concentrating more on the skin today than anything. I'm just going to keep the lips nice and simple. So here it is, here's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. if you've got any questions, feel free to pop me a message or an email. All the details are listed down below. If you liked it, if you give a thumbs up, and also a little subscribe would be great as well. We'll see you soon.